Alright, so today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to change a webcam photo into a professional looking photo that you can use on your business website. And we're going to be using some free and some low cost online programs in order to do that. So this is the picture I'm going to be working with. I simply took it with my webcam and now it's sitting on my desktop waiting to be used. So what I am going to do is I am going to go to Clipping Magic. There's two programs we're going to be working with. One is Clipping Magic and the other is Pixlr Editor. I like Pixlr Editor for adding things. I'm not crazy about it for removing backgrounds. So we're going to use it to add the background, but we're not going to be using it to remove the background because Clipping Magic is just so much more user-friendly. So you can upload an image from your computer or from the web just by going here or by dragging and dropping it. And when you do that, it is going to bring you to this screen. And in this screen, you're going to see your original image and the end result image. Right now, of course, it's the same because we haven't changed anything. Now, when you're over on this side of the screen, you're going to see the little red dot. When you're over on this one, you can move the images around. You can also scroll out and scroll in with your mouse. So the main thing we're only going to be doing in Clipping Magic is we're going to be removing the background. So you start by setting your foreground. That's this little green plus button. Your foreground is everything you're keeping. And pick a brush size you can work with. 5 pixels is obviously really small. 40 pixels is pretty huge. I usually just go with 20 pixels for everything until I'm working on really detailed stuff. And then you're just going to want to follow the border of your image. It doesn't have to be perfect to start, because as you see, it's not doing anything to the end result. This is mainly just telling them, don't go inside this border when you're removing things. So now we are going to want to start removing the background. That's just the little red minus thing up here. And you don't have to be neat with this at all. Just start dragging and watch everything just disappear around your image in the results screen. And this little over here, I want that gone. So slowly you're kind of getting rid of everything. You're removing all the stuff you don't want. Sometimes it helps to get real close. If you make a mistake like I just did, you break the border of green, you can just hit the back button and it'll fix it. But mainly you just want to get, that yellow line to be as tight into exactly what you want as possible. And it helps to, use the results screen in order to see what's happening to your image. And of course, I'm losing out of my head now. All right. Now, you'll notice already that the line looks really lumpy and really bumpy. So you really want to make sure it's smooth, and you want your picture to blend into whatever background you're going to get. Otherwise, it's going to look cheesy and broken. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down to Refine. And Refine is going to smooth your boundary. Just set smooth the boundary to 5. And then for feathering radius, this is really helpful. Set it to the highest feathering radius available, feathering radius 6. And that's going to blur your image's boundaries so your little mistakes and your handshakes aren't quite so obvious. Alright, so I'm just going to work on it a little bit more, kind of shave off carefully the stuff I don't want. You can scroll in to work really close. And another way you can check and kind of see how you're doing is by changing your background, because this program does offer backgrounds, they're just not very good. So your background is right here, and this is the default background, that's no background. But you can do a white background, or a gray background, or a black background, or a brown background. It's just, they're not very good. I mainly just use the program in order to get my clipped image just perfect. And then once it is, I go ahead and I download that clipped image and I take it to another program where I can put in a better background. The hairbrush is a tool that you can use in order to like fix flyaway hair and stuff like that. I'm actually not crazy about it. It looks really cheesy and it takes a lot of work to get the perfect colors set in order to be using it, so I don't do it at all. Shadows also, you don't really need to worry about so much. So, I mean, because you're going to be doing all that stuff in the final portrait, and this isn't the final. You're just trying to get a perfect clipping. You know, you want it to be as good as possible so you can really, like, just make it blend into your new image. Alright, so I actually already have an image ready to go, so you guys won't have to watch me clean this one up. And I've already brought it into my desktop so I can bring it up here, because now I want to change my background. I don't like the background I have because there is no background, so I need to create a new background. Well, I'm going to start by opening my image, because it is helpful to like look at the image while you're picking out a background. So we're going to grab that. So now I've got that image up, and that's going to be the one that gets pasted onto a new background. Now I want to find a background that really matches my subject, and for that I go to creativecommons.org, because they offer free backgrounds that you can modify as much as you want, and you know, they don't charge you anything for it. It's completely free, and it's the best way to find what you need. Now it's mainly a matter of your judgment at this point. You know, what background do you think would look best on the subject you have now? Seeing that I'm pretty pale and there is some pink in the picture, I'm going to use a pink textured background to pick up on that pink and just kind of make it pop a little bit more. So I just add it in, and it takes me to a Google page that kind of lists all of the pink textured backgrounds that I could possibly find. Now I've already picked a background, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up here. I think I'm going to use this one. So I have this up, but it's not simply a matter of just copying this and pasting it over here, because if you do, it's going to resize it and make your subject really weirdly small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new image, and I'm going to name it Final, because this is going to be our final project. So it opens up, you know, a pretty nicely sized new image over here. So what I want to do is I want to pick the area that I want to focus on as far as the texture goes. So I'm going to crop it. That's just using the little crop tool over here and dragging it, and it's going to come up with these 9 boxes, and I'm just going to hit enter. So now, you know, I've got the area of the image I want to use. Now I'm going to use this tool, my rectangle tool, in order to copy this. Go down to edit, copy, and then I'm going to click on my final. I'm going to paste it. So now, you know, I've got that great textured background in the background for that, and I can close out of that because I don't need that anymore. Now I want to put me in that background. And again, it's pretty simple. Just grab me with the rectangle. Go ahead and copy me. And then we're going to paste me. So you'll see there's still a little gap down here and everything like that, but that's okay because I want to crop it one final time in order to make sure I'm following the rule of thirds. And that's great. This is why this thing is set up for the rule of thirds, because you want your most interesting, your focal point of the picture to occur somewhere in this area. So once you have it like that, you know, just get it picked perfect. Make sure you don't have any gap between your body and the end. Once you have it, just hit enter. That's going to crop it. And now you're going to merge all the visible layers because we're going to add some effects to this picture, and we want to make sure that we're not just adding effects to one layer and not another. So we're going to merge all the visible layers. We can close out of the original image. We don't need that anymore. So now we've got the final that we're working with, and this is looking pretty good. You know, the background is a lot more interesting than the other background. It no longer looks like a webcam shot. Well, in this case, we have options of adjusting the brightness, you know, toning it down a little bit, just really working with it to kind of give us the perfect image. So I, you know, toned myself down a little bit. You can increase your saturation. Just play around with the adjustments in here. There's also some great like presets that you can use, like invert, where you invert the colors, or you can do like sepia tone if you want it to look a little bit older. You know, desaturate where you want to go black and white. I'm happy with me the way I am. So the adjustments are there to just, you know, adjust the colors in the picture. Now the filter is a great thing because it allows you to just add great effects to the filter. Like you can make it a little bit more blurry. Personally, I don't like that. Or you can make it into a vignette, which is what I did. And see, this is, you know, it's a great way to kind of make it look a little bit more professional and really focus on your subject. You know, there's tons of different ones you can use. And then when you're finally done with your image and, you know, you've got this great image that you really like, you just go up here, you save your image, and yet you've got a great new professional looking image that you took with a webcam. So it's a lot of, you know, easy, low-cost options. I will say Clipping Magic does charge $3.99 to download the things you clip. So you can clip all you want, but you can't download them unless you pay, which kind of sucks. But Pixlr offers, you know, the ability to remove it using kind of the same idea as what I showed you in Clipping Magic. It's just not as user-friendly. But Pixlr is the best for getting a great background and really getting the image that you want. So there it is. There's the original, and I managed to turn it into a professional looking photo. And the end result is pretty great. So follow my page for further updates. I'm going to be posting more tutorials in the future, and until then, have a lot of fun with this. It is a lot of fun to do.